Hey everyone, welcome to our podcast. We are
The
the Communicators.
Communicators.
So let's all dive in, and today we would like to discuss how we communicate best and what is important to us when we converse. We hope everyone learns a little something and takes some helpful tips and communication nuggets with them.
My name is Damian White, and I'm fantastic, funny, and awesome.
My name is Shelby McMichael, and I am the oldest one in the group. And I'm pretty funny, I have to say, Damien. So I'm going to give you a run for your money in comedy. And I like to talk a lot. I want to speak this way.
My name is Jacob Marshall. It's very quiet in here.
It's a bit awkward. Oh.
So, in today's episode, we decided to ask each other some questions about our communication styles and how it impacts us on a daily basis.
Is Mario having-
Let's go!
Jacob, you're up.
I say Let me say the question, or do you want to introduce myself again?
Whatever you want to do. I can edit however you want.
What management style fits you the most, and which one do you use the most? Competing, collaborating, avoiding, compromising, and accommodating.
I'm avoiding because, I usually don't talk to a lot of people. But sometimes I would talk to people if I need to.
Okay. So you're kind of more avoiding.
Yeah.
I probably, the one that I'm definitely not is competing. I think I avoid some people, especially polarizing family members. I love them, but yes. Overall, I think I'm more collaborating and cooperating because I like to, make other people feel heard and like they're a part of something because that's how I like to feel. So, I try to encourage others or help others to be able to be a part of something and kind of feel like they are, as opposed to just kind of like shutting them down or telling them they're not important. I don't want to feel that way, so I don't want other people to feel that way either.
Mm-hmm. I'm more accommodating, but in some situations I'm avoiding. For instance, when there's like an argument between my younger siblings, I'm avoiding that. I don't want to get involved in that because interjecting is more harmful than good in most cases. It's better for them to argue it out, and afterwards I could talk to each of them and accommodate to whatever like the issue is. Like, hey, he said this is stupid. She said this is. I like this.
Mm-hmm.
I try to be accommodating
Yes.
to both of them to not seem unbiased in any way.
How do you feel about social conversations or group interactions?
Ooh. How do I feel about social conversations or group interactions?
I like working in groups and all, but I'm more of I'm more. I prefer to do things alone in most of the situations, but some like this, that's more. It's more group catering. Like it's like this that we're doing now. We're all doing it together instead of each doing like our own part to it. Where we're all in this together, which is more fun than having like parts that they get to do separately.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's like just like a standard project, I'm fine with doing that. But this is more fun.
Okay, I agree. Like this, I generally like social kind of interactions, like going into groups. Sometimes they're a little nerve wracking, especially if, if they're certainly more professional or you kind of don't have as much confidence going into it. Like sometimes I go into professional settings and the people that I'm going into this group with are more educated or I feel to be more intelligent, better spoken. And so therefore my self-confidence goes down. So I get more nervous. I generally like group projects more so than kind of individual. Then what about you?
So I feel good about those interactions because I get to know the person and make myself feel better about what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
So that I would have more friends in the future.
Okay, so one of my favorite questions to ask people is, do you feel you're a good listener? Because I think listening is one of the potentially the more important part of communication. is listening to try to understand what the other person's saying. So how do you feel you are on the scale of listener?
Like I'm good. I'm good. Like most of the time, but like sometimes I just daydream off it. You know, I don't know what to say next. I can't hear the question correctly.
That's fair. That's fair. Do you have kind of tactics or things that you can do to kind of help you focus, refocus, and stay focused
I try to
during
I
conversations?
try to lock in as much as possible.
Okay. I think we all lose interest sometimes.
Mhm.
Some people are talking, namely my mother.
It's space out.
Sometimes, yes. You know, we were reading, I think it was in the book or maybe in Professor Paul's uh, lecture, something about, we sometimes tune out people that you know well, or you kind of know what you think you know what they're going to say. So you kind of tune out and start thinking about other things. And I'm like, I do that with my mom a lot. Because I'm like, I know what she's gonna say. And then I feel bad. So,
I'm more of a listener. I'm more on listening than engaging. So I'd rather listen to what they have to say, then put my thoughts into it. Because the more you know, the better you have a grasp and understanding of what the topic is and what the solution to the well, not it's not always an issue, but just something for like a comeback or something to solve the issue at hand.
mhm, right.
hmm How do you feel, does having autism, how does that affect or impact the way you communicate with others?
Um, Makes me kind of bleed a lot back in elementary school and summer camp. So like, you know, and I would only speak if I'm spoken to.
So, do you find it hard to initiate conversations with other people?
See, human communications is actually one of my biggest enemies because, it's difficult for me to start a conversation with someone that doesn't have autism or on the spectrum
Mm-hmm.
because spectrum people um, typically don't start conversations the way that non-spectrum people start them,
Can you,
and they get bullied um, a lot.
you mean in conversations they get bullied a lot?
Yes.
Okay.
So, what is your most difficult aspect of communicating with others? Like, what's a challenge that you have?
I would say that the most difficult aspect is people not getting the message across.
Okay.
So I know there are misunderstandings, but so sometimes when I'm when I'm talking to somebody, it's like, hey, this is what this like you need to follow this like exactly.
So,
Not a lot of people will be able to follow directions right because after the first like three steps, most people tend to forget.
right,
I'm guilty of that too. I
right.
try not to,
Me too.
but it's very difficult to tell somebody something that they need to do, and they forget half of it.
hmm
But again, everybody everybody does it. Everybody's guilty of it, and there's not some people have better memory, but that's the most difficult. It's just not being able to receive the message I'm trying to send across.
Do y'all feel that people may not remember those things because maybe they're not fully listening when y'all talk?
Yes, that is also another frustrating thing. Is I'm telling you something, but you're not listening to it. When I try to talk to somebody and then they're not really like listen fully, that kind of aggravates me a little. But I always give them the doubt of mind that they're probably busy with something else at the moment.
But Damien, what do you find is a good tactic to help you kind of stay present and focused when you're
See,
listening to other people?
I try and lock in as much as possible so that I can receive the most information that I can. I won't receive all of it, but I'll just take some notes and, just kind of like record them later.
One of my pet peeves in communicating is people who overtalk. Kind of to your point, Jacob, and I've noticed the one thing about you, like Damien, you as well, very much wait until the person's done talking and then you respond versus, I have people, especially at work, who I can't even get through an entire sentence before they're already responding to the first thing I said. And then I get frustrated because I'm like, I still have other things to say that might influence what your response is going to be. But to me, that's the sign of a good listener, someone who kind of just patiently waits until the end and then responds.
That's true.
When people talk to you, does it help if people slow down their speech, or do you like it? Because you mentioned you don't like it when people talk loud.
Slow down their speech.
Okay.
I do have one question,
Okay.
and it is, how do I need to change my communication style to fit others' process and interpretation and feedback style?
So, Jacob, you're asking how, like, we individually can change our communication style to kind of better communicate with others? It's
Yes.
a great question. Damon, what do you think?
I think that I need to go speech more. That's what I need to do.
You need to go to speech more?
Yes.
Do you think that if you, like, when you're talking to other people, especially at work, and say you're giving them instructions?
I would like to use descriptive words to give my manager some instructions.
That's a good idea. Yes. I think I might need to use less words, if that's possible. It's not.
By less words, do you mean like a simpler, like simpler instead of like, so
Too
instead
many
of
words.
taking like a profound, more complex sentence, you want to make it simpler for somebody easier to understand it.
For the most part, yeah. Sometimes I can I have to really kind of meter myself and try to, like you were just saying, like simplify instead of taking a long string of words, simplify it and make it as simple as possible.
I think I'm pretty guilty of that because, like, whenever I'm talking with a friend or talking with my brother or working, when we're working, we have like some instructions. I need to start like making it simpler for them to understand
Mhm.
because, like in my head, I know exactly what to do, and I can easily just do it. But for somebody else, they don't know. Like they don't know all of it. They don't know the what needs to be done at the time.
Right, Damien.
Um,
What do you want to say? What are some final words?
um, Hope you guys have a good day and stay out of trouble. Please communicate nicely and effectively. Goodbye.
You hit done.
Done. After listening, think about what you can change in your interactions with others to improve your communication skills. Thanks for listening. Stay out of trouble and please communicate nicely and effectively. Have a great day.